we go. Hey, everybody. I am Matt Mullen, and this is our mastermind, How to Make Money with Email. Thanks to our friends at Raptive for putting this together. That's pretty awesome, right? I mean, they have been doing this for a little while now. Some of you have joined me on previous masterminds. This one's a little different. If you've joined me before, we are going to cover similar things because email is email. There's some core strategies. And even if you think you've got it, trust me, there's some new things that you can do. I hope that you'll find some inspiration in some of the repeats, if you will, because there's so many opportunities for us to do it a little bit better. And I'm going to challenge you today, especially today, for those that think that they know this tactic that I'm about to share with you, to go deeper, because I am consistently seeing results with the stuff that I'm going to share with you. And that's why I get to keep doing this, I guess. We are going to, over the next 5 days, let me tell you what we're going to cover. So it's about making money with email. Making money with email starts with actually having a newsletter and having subscribers. So day 1 and 2 are going to be focused on that because that is so important. So I do coaching, I do consulting, I do done-for-you services, and I will tell you, and I have detailed reports, and I've gotten much, much better at this even in the last 60 days, of figuring out, is there a return on investment with email? And the answer is there is, if you have a list and you send to them. The more that you send and the more they click on your stuff and come back to Raptive, the more ads are seen, the more money you will make. That is how to make money with email, point number 1. We're going to go much deeper than that, and I'm going to tell how and all that stuff, but bigger list, send more emails is big whopping secret number 1. Okay. So we're going to start there with the first 2 days is how to grow the list. We're going to spend a little bit of time on what to send the list. We won't spend a lot of time on that because some of those fundamental principles are pretty commonsensical, but I'll show you examples of what works, what doesn't. And there are some tactics, if you will, some things that people are trying right now that are very interesting. And so we'll talk about some of those. And then the last 3 days, we are going to open up the fire hose, and I'm just going to blast you with as many things that I can think of, or that I've seen, or that I have done with my clients and my own businesses that actually monetize. Okay. It's going to be everything from selling stuff to affiliate to sponsorships in newsletters. And there's a whole bunch of nuance within all of that that is pretty dang cool. So I'm going to get very specific. I hope that you have come with an open mind and with some, a number 2 pencil, probably, maybe a notebook, and a white wolf. If you have all of those things, you are set and ready for what I'm about to share with you. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to share my screen. By the way, from here on out, Marlon, you're in charge of making sure that I video this thing, okay? Because I want to post the recordings. And I am just, I don't take ginkgo biloba or whatever it is I'm supposed to take that keeps my memory fresh. I forget things. So you're in charge of that. All right. Excellent. Here we go. Sharing the old screenerooski. Okay. This is me. This is the obligatory get to know me slide. I live in Arizona where it's literally 115. I don't know what that is Celsius. Sorry, Jules, you'll have to, well, almost all of you actually have to calculate that, but 115 Fahrenheit today. So we're melting over here. My family, it says I live with them. Actually, only one of them lives in Arizona with us or near us now. They're all grown. I'm an empty nester and have a grandbaby, as a matter of fact. The kid on the right-hand side of the screen, he's my favorite because he produced that grandbaby or was partly responsible for it. And she is, look, I get that all y'all want to have and you aspire to have cute grandkids in the future. And I wish you well. But I just want you to know number 1 slot in the world, the cutest ever, is locked up. So you can strive for number 2 and so forth. So that's what we got going on here in my life. What do I know about email? If you've heard me, you might know my story a little bit before. I've been with small businesses for the last 25 years. We've used email in every single one of them, and it's been an important part. Prior to this job that I've been doing full time for 7 years now, I can't believe it. I was chief marketing officer for a daily deal website. And we were a Groupon clone when there were so many Groupon clones out there. And we used email to sell stuff. We had our lowest point, our low watermark was $10 million that I could attribute directly to email sales, and it went up to 30 in our hottest years. So we did a lot with email. We had enterprise level email software. I had 33 different email engagement groupings, so I know about segmentation. And when I got into blogging, my wife and I started a Disney-related website in 2016. And when I got into blogging, I just used some of the tactics that I had thought were common sense and occurred to me. And we grew our list to 40,000 subscribers in a 2-year period of time, using the exact tactic that I'm going to share with you today that we're going to start with. Since that time, I've had the great pleasure of working with some of the most awesome content creators in the whole universe, actually, and been able to put these things into practice. So that's me. I have a course called Email and Autopilot. Some of you have gotten it for whatever mastermind you were at before with Raptive. You may already have it, or you've been a student of it previously. As part of this, Raptive has generally and generously covered the cost for this course. If you have not yet grabbed it, you don't have it, here's the coupon code. Just go enter this code at, I'll drop this into the chat here, and go get this course. Now, if we're doing a mastermind, why do you need this course? Well, we're not going to be able to cover every little thing here. And the course talks, it's like half strategy and half how to do it in my platform of choice, which is ConvertKit. Okay. Even if you don't use ConvertKit, you will get a lot out of it just from the strategy part, because you'll just go apply those strategies to whatever platform you're using. If you're using ConvertKit, then it's helpful because it's like step, done. Okay. So Email and Autopilot, that's what that is. It's a $500 course. So go grab it while you can. Thanks to our friends at Raptive. If you have not yet done so, please join the Facebook group. And we're going to be sharing, well, I've got some stuff I'm going to share in there throughout this week. Hopefully some of you will share some of your homework assignments, and we'll just share feelings there too. You know, we'll have Jasmine give us updates from Houston every 3 hours in that Facebook group. Okay, so go join. Now, let's get into this. I did something a little different this time. I don't know if you remember this, but you filled out a form to get accepted into this elite group, this mastermind. And after we went through massive qualifications and background checks, we allowed you in. But I asked you a particular question, and it was, what's your biggest struggle with email? All right. So there's been a lot of different, worry, concern, freak out, if you will, in our digital landscape. Maybe some of you are feeling this right now, a little pinch of a Google helpful whatever update, or maybe worried about what AI is going to do to our business. Well, email is as important as it's ever been. What's interesting about email is it's been around a long time relative to the internet, right? And it actually hasn't changed that much, which, and if you think about the internet, if something hasn't changed that much, what does that tell us? It's still here, it's still strong, and the staying power that it has. If you're not invested in it, this is like the US, over here in the United States, sometimes personal finance gurus will just point to, just be in the market, and because the market will generally go up and to the right over a long period of time. That's kind of what email is, or put a different way, it's like eating your vegetables. You should do it. It's healthy and good for you. But sometimes there's a cinnamon roll that somebody puts in front of you. And so we focus on that instead. Here are some of the reasons why email is so important now. You've heard this one before. Owning your own list. So you're not subject to the whims of the algorithms or whatever it is that's hitting us right now. I know that you've heard that before. I want to talk about this a little bit more, because I think this is probably as important as it's ever been. It might be that in the past, you ranked #1 for something, and then because Lord Google blessed you, and that was your business. Now, that's kind of a jerk thing to say, isn't it? But I think that I'm speaking truth. My question for you is, where are you positioned? How does your audience see you or think about you? And do they care about you? Or did they just come in for a certain travel guide? Was it a Cricut download blueprint? Was it a recipe? Do they actually care about you? And how do we help them do that? Email, I'm going to talk about how to do that with email. Also, in today's day of change, having a list allows you to go, whoop, we're going to send you over here. You know what? If Google's not working for me, guess what? Whiz Bang Doodle over here is working great. Let's all go there. You can send people there and bring them with you, or you can send them to your content where you monetize. Email is also right now. So I've done some, this is very recent. I've had some of my clients go get their RPMs. Now, all the clients that I have that I contacted are on ConvertKit. I know now that Raptive has ConvertKit data. So if you have, we'll talk more about that. But if you want to ask Raptive this question right now, they have it. I've talked to James. He's in charge of engineering over there, James Baldwin, and he said, yes, we have it, and you can ask. So if you want to send in an email to support@raptive.com and ask for the month of June, what was my ConvertKit session RPM? If you're on ConvertKit. If you're on something else, you can still ask. They may not have it as accurately, but it's worth asking. Now, what are we going to find out there? I think what you'll find out is that aside from maybe Pinterest and the direct traffic that we don't really know what direct traffic actually is, that email is your highest RPM driver by a long shot. We're going to talk more about that too. And then we're going to talk about this, as I promised, making money with the emails that you send. This used to be an abstract concept. I am telling you, we can figure this out from a direct ROI standpoint. Are you tired of paying for MailChimp? Are you tired of paying your VA to help you write emails? Are you tired of it just taking your time to think about it? Let's find out how much money it makes. So one of our sessions in here, we're going to do I've got a calculator. We're going to go through it. I'll show you how much money you can make with it. Or if you're just investing right now, which is also a good thing to do. All right, so about the technical stuff, the things that I'm going to share with you can be done on most email platforms, the ones that you have. I know we've got people on all sorts of platforms here, from Flowdesk to MailerLite. I saw MailChimp in there, I saw ActiveCampaign. I know we have ConvertKit as well. If you want my recommendation, you're getting it anyway. I love ConvertKit. That's my platform of choice. I am 100% an unapologetic shill for them. I have been for the last 7 years when I switched over from another platform that was causing me to pull my hair out, and I have a strange affinity towards my hair. So since that time, the platform has grown, and I've grown with it and figured out how to do stuff. Hear what I'm saying? It's what the platform that works best for you is the one you can get to do stuff, okay? If that's ConvertKit, great. If that's MailChimp, great. If that's anything else, great. If you are not on a platform where you are stuck, where you feel that, then go try ConvertKit. Yes, this is an affiliate link, but why am I telling you this? Fundamentally, because I have found over the years that I've done consulting that I will do strategy and people they'll go, this is a great idea. And then when they go to implement, they are stuck. And my course, Email and Autopilot, just blows right past that. Says, this is the strategy, this is exactly how to do this. So I can't do that for every platform. I've done that with this one. So if that's you and that helps one of you, great. All right, moving on past my shilling. And I know a lot about a lot of platforms. So if you have questions at some point, feel free to ask me. By the way, I didn't mention this, but at the end of each one of these, it's open session, open mic night. You can ask me anything about your personal situation. I mean, your personal email situation, and I will do my best to answer. And I'll stick around as long as you do. It'll be awkward. We'll just be sitting here looking at each other at some point. All right, let's get into this. I need to hydrate here real quick. Some of you, I'm looking at the list. I'm guessing that many of you have heard me talk about this before. By the way, down in the chat, if you've ever been on a mastermind with me, heard me speak, have taken my course, know anything about what I'm about, will you let me know down before, or if not, it's like the first timer, let me know that too. Oh, you were a tastemaker? Oh, cool. Yeah, that was super fun. I loved that. That was a That was a good time for me. So you had to make a travel to get to Chicago. All right, second time. All right, Amy, Mindy, first timers, Marlon, I apologize in advance. All right. And to the second timers, you brought this on yourself by coming back. So here's what we're doing. I want to share with you the not so secret to growing your list. I've shared this before. It is a fundamental universal truth. Those of you who think you already know this secret, I'm telling you, you are not doing this enough. All right, here we go. I want you to meet my friend Martha. I was over at Martha's house. We were having a lovely conversation about probably Taylor and Travis, just guessing. And we're just chatting about life. And mid-sentence, she says, you know, Matt, I'm hungry. I've got a hankering for something. And I said, me too. What do you want? And she says, well, you know, she's got a glass of milk there. You can see what it is she wants, right? It's pretty obvious. Come on, play along. What does she want? That's right. She said some vegan potato sopu. I think I meant soup. Martha stutters sometimes. It sounds amazing. And I was like, that does sound good. How do we make that? And she said, I don't know. But fortunately, she had that nondescript laptop right there. So she just plugged it into Google. And guess what? Presto, up comes this vegan potato soup recipe from a virtual vegan. It must be good from this particular creator because it's right here and right here. All right. So Martha, of course, clicked on it. Look at that soup. It's laden with goodies. And so she was excited to make it. We paused. In fact, there was actually, you'll be surprised to know there's a full recipe right there on that website. She just follows the recipe and it was delicious. And as we are wiping off our mouths with our napkins, what did we do? Did we say, we need to tell all our friends about this? Did Martha say, I would really like to join her newsletter, whoever a virtual vegan is? No. What does Martha do? Martha bounced. Martha's off and on her way. Martha's busy. Martha's a jerk. She didn't sign up for the newsletter. All right. This is, now I have not hacked into a virtual vegan here, but I am pretty confident that her bounce rates are just like everybody else's in this range. So why didn't Martha join a virtual vegan's newsletter? Because Martha in that moment does not care about joining a newsletter. She's in what I call transaction mode. She wants a recipe or a craft or a guide, a DIY helper or whatever. And she gets it because of Google, Pinterest, Facebook, AI, whatever the result. And then she's off and on her way. She knows that next time she gets hungry, what can she do? She can go to Google again, and she's probably going to get a pretty good result. So what do we need to do instead? How do we convince stubborn Martha to join our newsletter? Well, here's the secret, the not so secret secret. And that is your existing traffic is your best source of list growth. I'm going to say that again. I want you to think about this. Let this sink in. Your existing traffic, the person who's in front of you on any channel, anywhere, anytime, that person is your best shot of growing your list. That is why these things do not work. Sign up for my newsletter. Get our best recipes weekly. Do you want tips, stories, and giveaways in your inbox? No, Martha does not want any of those things. In fact, Martha wants fewer emails in her life, not more. So what do we do instead? All right, this is the part I think that you probably already know. We need a lead magnet. We need an email hook. And there's plenty of different types of email hooks. An email hook simply is something that will attract, that is an exchange. I will give you this in exchange for your email address. That's all we're doing. That's the lead magnet concept. Many of you already have one. Okay, I'm going to go on to a couple of slides here, but for audience participation part of our program, down in the chat, will you let me know what your current lead magnet or email hook is? Some of you are already doing stuff that I may have told you I'm going to tell you about here in a minute, and I'd like to see that too. All right, I'm going to come back to those in just a second, but here's what I think makes a good email hook. First of all, it should grab your target reader. Ultimately, it should solve a problem for them. I have a problem. The promise of a solution is in that lead magnet. It should arrive in your inbox instantly and ideally showcase you as the expert on this topic. And there are so many different types of email hooks. We got printables, downloadables, checklists, ebooks, courses, bonus content. Let's see what y'all have. Free mini course, 5 days to reset your life. Excellent. Sounds like a good idea. 5 baking hacks from a pro baker. Yeah, we're not no sophomoric bakers over here. Dan's got a PDF with list of free codes for in-game items. Cool. 10-week dinners in 30 minutes. Meal plan for weight loss. Okay. 101 ideas. That's a lot of ideas. Milena, I'm talking to you now, I guess. And then how to eat like a local when you travel. Cool. It's the first bit of my guide on 21 ways to get started living off the grid. Okay, cool. Excellent. Some good ones there. Are they working? Give yourself a grade. How's your lead magnet working? How do they grade in the outside of the United States? I mean, we've got a lot of non-US folks here. Do we have A's, A, B, C, D, E, F? Not E. I'm just tricking you there. A, B, C. All right, give yourself a C. All right. Could get higher click-through rates, not align with my goals for my list. Okay, that's important. Let me repeat that. So somebody on our chat said that they have one. It ranks it a C, but doesn't feel like it converts as well as it should and doesn't align with the goals of the list. Interesting. Okay, still testing for a full grade. All right, about a B. Okay, here's the problem I found with most email hooks, kind of what one of y'all said here. First of all, they take time and or money and or skill to make. Have you ever had to pay somebody to make an ebook, for example, or a PDF or a designer and things like that? Or if you've tried to figure it out in Canva or whatever it may be. And sometimes they just simply aren't that effective at attracting people that should be your super fans. If anybody's done printables or downloadables, you know what I mean. There's a lot of grab and go. You never hear from them again. They never actually click. So here's my little tirade about ebooks. Does anybody care? I don't know if you care. I'm not a fan of ebooks for lead magnets. They're fine. By the way, any one of these is fine if it does the job. I'm not bagging on these. I don't love ebooks simply because they're hard to produce and people are downloading them to their phones. Are you ever actually reading an ebook on your phone? I mean, the print is tiny, 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 even if it's designed beautifully. And is anybody actually ever clicking on that and coming back to your website through the ebook? It just doesn't happen. Tell me I'm wrong. I just haven't seen it. So here's what I think is a better idea. Use your existing content and create something called a quick start guide. Some of you are already doing this. I see that. We're going to dive into how to do it a little better. And for those of you who are new to it, a quick start guide is simply a short series of emails that leads these new readers that you've captured, Marthas, to the most important stuff that you want to deliver on your website, on your blog, on your channel, on whatever. Here's the example that same example I've used for years and it still works to this day. When somebody lands, back in the day, this website is almost, non-existent now. It just sits there, but it hasn't been updated for years. But back in the day, we used to rank #1 for Disney cruise tips. And when somebody Googled Disney cruise tips, what do I know about that person? Well, they're probably going on a Disney cruise, and it's probably their first one. Otherwise, why do they need tips? So, lead magnet ideas might have been sign up to get updates about Disney cruising. That's reasonable. But this works so much better. What to expect on your first Disney cruise. This goes to the heart of the problem that person is interested in. This solves their next problem. They're getting the tips. They see this pop up and they go, oh, I would like to know what to expect. That is actually me. This thing converts like crazy. It still does for the traffic that comes to that, mostly ignored by search engines. Okay. The glory of this, spoiler alert, by the way, your homework assignment will be to make a new quick start guide, even if you've made one before, if you've never made one, to make a new quick start guide. And I'm going to challenge you to not create any new content. You will use the existing content you already have. You are here in Raptive because you have been a content creator for some time. You are monetizing this content. I know you have it. Don't try to tell me you don't. And so all we're doing is we're taking that content and we're creating a theme around it to make a guide. Very loose quotes here. I've seen some of y'all's guides. Some of you are in travel and you have very comprehensive guides. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about very loose guide here, where it's basically one email per day for 3 to 5 days in a row, where each email is a different topic related to the theme. And each one of them, the point of this is to get Martha to come back. It's not to teach Martha who you are and why you're special. It's not to do a whole welcome series that tries to educate her on how a blog works. It's not to ask her to whitelist your emails and drag it from the promotions tab to the inbox tab. It is simply to get her back to your website. And the reason for that is that when we're doing that, that's when the branding starts to kick in. If she's like, a virtual what? What was that? A virtual vegan? I don't remember. But if we capture her in the email list and we get her to come back and try another recipe, that's 2 recipes she's tried or considered trying from a virtual vegan, and a virtual vegan's brand starts to inch up. She'll see the headshots, she'll see the logo, she'll start to recognize it. And most importantly, it's solving Martha's problems. All we're doing here is you're thinking it like you're Martha. We're putting our content in order that makes sense for her. The reason that this works is because when people are just getting started with something new, they want to get started quickly. All right. I know that we have some travel experts on this call. Do we need to give them the whole history of Versailles and the French Revolution the first time somebody's going to Paris? No, they want to know where to stay, what to eat, what to see. I got 3 days there. Where should I stay? What should I eat? What should I see? Okay. They just want to get going quickly. And so when we simplify the topic for them, we're doing him a huge, huge favor. That's the value of this. But Matt, all this content's already on my blog, already on my channel. It's all there already. Can't they just find it? Well, sure they can, but nobody does that. They search for something, they consume it, they don't bother looking through your catalog. Here is the beauty of a quick start guide. It saves your readers time. It makes it easy for them to find the stuff that's best for them. It helps you become a subject matter expert in their eyes very quickly, and it brings them back to the website or the channel. And as I said, we're training them to open and click your emails over again, because, oh, that stuff was awesome from Jules. I'll bet this next stuff from Jules is pretty awesome. Okay. So we deliver awesomeness. I need to update this slide. That's what we're doing. Blah, blah, blah. 1 email lesson per day for 3 to 5 days. Does everybody understand this concept? Okay, got nods. All right, piece of cake. Here's the challenge, maybe, for some of you. How to select your topic. Okay, so I know that we've got people that are new to this and don't have a quick start guide or doing something else. I know that we've got people who have listened to me before and have done a quick start guide or 2. And you're still giving, I didn't see anybody give themselves an A here. So how do we select the topic that will convert Martha? I need to have a t-shirt made of this. It's not snappy exactly, but your existing traffic, that's where we need to go. That's your best source of list growth right now. So here's the questions that you ask yourselves. Right now, what's the biggest problem I can solve? You ready for this? I want you to memorize this. There's a test on this. When you are asking yourself which quick start guide or what lead magnet, it doesn't have to be a quick start, it could be a PDF, I don't care, whatever. But whatever you're going to do, what is your biggest channel? What is your highest trafficked category, page, post, craft, recipe, video? And this right here is important. Why did they come there? What is Martha's motivation? What do we know about Martha if she Googled vegan potato soup? What's at the core of her problem? And then what can you offer to help solve it? Okay? In a moment, I'm going to be giving away free Quick Start Guide ideas. If you are stuck, I will help you get unstuck. If you have done one for a while, I will help you come up with a better one. That is my challenge. You can challenge me on that, all right? And we'll see if we can do it. But I'm going to show you some examples now. But I want you to be thinking, what should your Quick Start Guide be? Here's some examples that have worked well. For baking a moment, 5 secrets for baking impossibly soft cookies. It's better than ridiculously hard cookies. We tried that. A/B test didn't work as well. This is Jansen, friend of mine. In fact, she's the reason I'm in this business. She's been a blogger for 15 some odd years. She's a former librarian, and she has a great passion for helping parents instill love reading in their kids. In fact, she has a SaaS company that helps kids learn to read. Anyway, so when people come to her blog, Everyday Reading, Raising Readers, Secrets for Creating a Love of Reading in Your Kids, this has worked for her for years. Jessica has a DIY website, and her struggle was, all right, somebody's coming in on how to what paint color to use, how to decorate the foyer. I think that's French. And we were like, well, what do we do with that? Well, what do we know about them? Well, they're willing to put in some elbow grease and get out a paintbrush or a hammer. So 5 secrets to transform your home on any budget. This one worked great during the pandemic. It probably would still work well, but it was explosive during the pandemic. Killer copycat recipes. You couldn't go out, so here's how you made it at home. I think it was a year ago, January, here in the United States, there was I don't know, was there an egg shortage or something? Eggs were really expensive. The chickens were on strike, I suppose. And there's this big craze where everybody decided they were going to own their own chickens. Yeah, maybe some of you ended up doing that. But the Happy Chicken Coop, their website took off. All right. And so they jumped into it with, here's how you raise healthy chickens. More copycat recipes, Ultimate Spring Recipe Guide, 5 secrets to great Mexican food at home, 5 days of slow cooker classics. This one I want to talk about for a second. Ralphie, Simply on Purpose. This is quite a few years back. At the time, she had 120,000 followers on Instagram. No blog, no website, and no email list. When we started talking, we said, what can we make? She was doing something called No Yell Week. The idea is that parents feel guilty when they yell at their kids. I never once did it, so I wouldn't know. So she was doing this whole session about not yelling at your kids. And so she created this quick start guide called Staying Safe, why we yell, why it doesn't work, and what to do instead. At the time, she had 120,000 followers. She released it on her Instagram. She put it on the stories. At the time, it was swipe up to sign up, that kind of stuff. And this was the landing page that we used. This took us 3 minutes to put together, if that. Super not fancy, right? Here were the results. She went from 0 to 20,000 subscribers in 2 weeks. Now, she was promoting it every day during that time. She had other Instagrammers kind of repost it. I love what Ralphie's doing over here. Go get it. And so a lot of people signed up. And it wasn't just that people signed up. They opened and clicked. High engagement, if you know anything about email metrics. Here's an example of what one of those emails was like. Lesson 2. Why doesn't yelling work? Let's be clear. It does work in the short term, blah, blah, blah. 3 long-term effects of yelling. She lists them out. And at the end, she says, for a video on the negative effects of yelling, click the picture. How much Photoshop and time did she spend on picking that picture? She just grabbed something, right? We threw it in there. Guess where this takes you? It takes you to a highlighted story on her Instagram channel. That highlighted story has been there the whole time. So follow me here. Somebody's following along on Instagram for a very long time, devoted follower. They sign up for this quick start guide because she dangles this lead magnet carrot. They get an email and it brings them right back to where they were to begin with, but they were never consuming that content and they love it. That's the power of a quick start guide. And they don't have to be complicated. Here's one from Sugar Free Londoner. Look at how this is a terrible, it's hard to get a full email into a PowerPoint here, but these don't have to be long. Hi, Matt. Welcome to day one of 30-minute keto meals. Did someone say keto and quick? Look at these keto wonders. They're my lifesavers on busy days. My fastest and best keto recipes, blah, blah, recipe, recipe, recipe. Can you write an email like that? Do you have existing content like that? My guess is you do. How much faster is that to make than a PDF or an ebook? You can bang these out quick. That's actually what I want to teach you, is that you can make highly converting, is that the word? Converting lead magnets, and you can make more of them faster. Guess what Sugar Free Londoner can do at summertime? She can hit duplicate on this sequence. She can change the words to be a little bit more about summer. Hi, Matt. Welcome to day one of my favorite summer quick keto meals. Change up a few of the recipes. Presto. She's got a brand new lead magnet for summer. You see this? Not hard. Okay. Normally I go through this whole copywriting thing. Here's how you can write it, blah, blah, blah. But you see it there. I think this is, I don't want to over-explain it. State the problem up top. Welcome them. I love that. By the way, I love this. Welcome to day one of insert title. I love that. I do that all the time because it tells them what they signed up for. It reminds them. And you've kind of branded this thing in the same way that this mastermind has a title. It puts the context around what you're going to get for the next 5 days. Well, same thing with a quick start guide. And it also implies that this thing will end sometime. Okay, day one of. If they miss day one and they get day two, that day two tells them that there was a day one that they might have missed. Okay. So, oh, by the way, this right here, I love a good subheader. Give me a good subheader. Notice my paragraphs, by the way, are very short. I very seldom write more than one sentence per paragraph. White space. You'll hear me say this too much, but people don't read emails. They skim, especially Martha, who doesn't care about you yet. This is why there are some content creators where they need to make that extensive welcome series that explains who they are and that their background this and all that stuff. But I'm telling you that there's ways that you can incorporate that quick and easy without spending a ton of time on it, and just get them to the content that they want. And you'll build your brand that way. All right. Let's see. There's some testimonials and stuff, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna skip all that. Let's get into your quick start guides. All right. Is anybody stuck? Who does not have a fresh new idea for a lead magnet right now? Be brave. It's a safe place. Adrian's parole officer says nice things about her. I'm sure that she will support us. Okay, so who's stuck? All right, Sarita, I'm ready for you and your questions.
Hi. Okay. So my question is, I have a lifestyle blog about living off the grid, homesteading, self-reliance, etc. Is it okay to do this with more than one? So I like different segments, for example, or what should I do? Because my best sources of traffic are actually my homestead recipes. They aren't even about living off the grid.
Okay. Do you have more content to help people that want homestead recipes?
I have tons of content.
Okay. So right there, and I'm glad you asked this question because this is usually the biggest question that people have. I have recipes and I have quilting crafts and I redid my porch, and we've got all those things. But somebody Googled or went to Pinterest and landed here because of a homestead recipe. Okay. Let's go back to this. Here's how I would go through this. If you and I were working together as my client, I'm just going to save you a ton of money because we're just going to do it right now. All right. So you said that's your biggest traffic, right?
It is. My two top posts are how to make pancake syrup from 4 ingredients and how to make your own oregano oil.
Okay. Here's my question for you, playing devil's advocate. No, actually, I'm not going to play devil's advocate. I'm going to ask you further. What's the motivation behind somebody that wants that pancake recipe or wants that oil recipe?
Pancake recipe, they waited till the last minute. I see my traffic spike every Saturday and Sunday morning, like clockwork. They don't have pancake syrup and their husband or their kids or their wife wants pancakes.
Okay. It's an age-old problem. Yes. Okay.
Yep.
What about the oil?
I think people just, it comes from Pinterest. That's a Pinterest, that's Pinterest traffic, and they can't get it in the stores or they want to make it themselves.
What are they searching for specifically on Pinterest?
Oregano oil. That is the keyword phrase.
Okay. Where does homesteader fit into any of that?
I don't know. I think it's a self-reliance type thing. I think that's where that's coming in.
Okay, I'm gonna push back a little bit.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
I have that pancake thing has nothing to do with self-reliance. That has everything to do with I'm busy.
Okay. Yeah.
The oil thing, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know enough about making your own oil. So why am I mentioning that? Because the obvious thing here, the first thing is, okay, where am I getting this traffic? Well, it's in the homesteader recipe category. So our first inclination, and it may still be the right move, would be let's create a quick start guide specific to homesteader recipes. That may still be the right move because you have tons of homesteader recipes. We just picked on 2 of them that happen to be the highest traffic. But that's why I look at those and I want to know, why did they come there? Because sometimes we'll not match them up right. If we said homesteader recipes, the people coming there, they're making oil or just want to make pancakes. They may not even know what homesteading means. And that may confuse them.
Okay.
What are the commonalities here that we do have? Well, there's the DIY. There's we have to make some other assumptions. What are some other reasons people might want to do that? Well, maybe it's budget, maybe it's health, maybe it's last minute, maybe it's self-reliance. And so you have to take a little bit of a gamble there, not a gamble, an educated guess based off of your traffic, what you've seen over the years, the types of questions people are asking, and also, very important, who you want to be to them. Because we could match them up and maybe we're tapping into some, there's possibility that there's one weird post that goes crazy, right? And you could create a lead magnet for that, but you're not really going there with your business.
Right.
Okay. So let's think about what are some other types of recipes real quick in that homesteader recipe category.
Sourdough. My sourdough recipes all just go crazy as well. Pickling, canning, preserving, anything like that. Anything that's filling your pantry, anything to do with long-term food storage. Prepper pantries is a big popular thing in the sort of homestead niche. And that's where I get a lot of questions about storing food for the long term, storing eggs, all those kinds of things.
Okay. So where I'm going to go with that is I'm going to lean into the most traffic. And so this is what we would dive into a little bit more deeply if we were doing the analysis. And then I'm going to try to take an approach that slightly combines some of that stuff in there, but also might feed into the pancake people. Something along the lines of or maybe it's this summer's most popular make-at-home recipes. That is too long. That was way too long, but you get where I'm going with that. I'm tying into the seasonality. I'm tying into trending, and I'm tying into the you can make it yourself kind of thing. Now, I'm leaning into that because then you can in the series you can say, I handle all of that. Whether you are a first time do it yourselfer or you're a full on meal prepper. As a homesteader for 15 years or however long it's been, I've created these recipes that fit anybody in that space. Over the next 5 days, I'm going to share with you the summer's, hottest make it yourself recipes. And we're going to start right here with bread, sourdough, pumpernickel. I just love saying pumpernickel. Any excuse I have to say pumpernickel. And whatever those are. Day 2 is summer's best produce, how to make tomato sauce, can your pickles. Anyway, you get where I'm going with that.
Yep.
Now you have something that you can at least start testing with. And by the way, it doesn't even matter if this works, Sarita. This does not have to be your best quick start guide. It just needs to be your first.
Okay, thank you so much.
We're learning the technique and the technology on how to set this up and how to bang these out quickly, because you can see how it would change over the seasons. Or you might do this on the air fryer category. For those of you who have an air fryer, you know that a regular recipe doesn't work for air fryer devices. Okay, hope that helps. Who else wants a free quick start guide idea? I'm giving them away.
I need some help.
All right, I'm ready.
So one of my best performing posts is a recipe for the Sleepy Girl mocktail that went viral on TikTok. Most people come there looking for it because it can help you fall asleep faster or get better quality sleep. I have one other drink recipe that kind of targets that same intent on my site, but I have dozens of other functional mocktail recipes, or more generally mocktail recipes.
What's a
but I don't know.
Functional mocktail.
Where it has some health benefits. So for this one, it's sleep. It could be one for energy in the morning, kind of the opposite. Something that helps balance or stabilize blood sugar, different things like that. And then some of them just use healthier swaps than like their cocktail counterpart.
Okay, let's go through this then. Why did they want the sleepy deepy mocktail?
To get better sleep.
Okay, and what do we know about that person? If they're Googling that and they're looking for a specific drink, or they're looking for a drink, what do we know about them?
So I would say they are perhaps having trouble sleeping, but also that they are interested in kind of that more holistic functional route to try it. Maybe they've tried other things and they didn't work.
So they have a blender, they have some fruit and vegetables. They believe that might help because whether they've tried everything else or they saw a trend, whatever, they're willing to make something up and put it in their mouth. So you have other smoothies that help somebody that has a blender, likes fruit and vegetables, and wants to improve their health and lifestyle. Okay, so it could be 5 days of smoothies that will make you feel better. Five secrets to drinks that are better for your health. That's terrible, man. I got to work on that. But you get the idea.
Yeah, I got it.
So then you could have one that's all about sleep. I don't know if you have any other. You have another one that's about energy, because you probably have multiples of those. And some people like the beetroot, and some people like the raspberry, or whatever. And then so on and so forth. You have a whole series based off of those themes.
Okay.
Would that work?
Yes.
Do you have enough content for that?
Yes, I definitely do.
All right, so that's a place to start, right? And then we put that out there. And then if we need to go something more general, then we can do that. Isabel.
Okay.
I have a question about the quick start guide structure. What are the must-haves on that first email of the series beyond links to our existing content? Should we share what to expect on the next slide? Should we introduce ourselves? Great questions. What I like to do here in day one is, first of all, as I mentioned, reference, welcome to day one of. It's not a bad idea to say, over the next 5 days, I'm going to share with you the smoothies that have changed my health for good and have changed the readers of my blog, insert blog title here, that I've been serving for the last 200 years. There's a little tiny introduction, little tiny. Now, at the end of it, Like, if you want to put more in on who Isabel is, who am I, what I stand for, what you'll find, put it at the footer. Put it down below. Give them the content that they want, and then as they are learning about you, they can discover you. I think that's a great idea. Good question. All right, who else is stuck? Come on, somebody stump me.
Okay, I will.
Oh, Barbara.
Not that I don't have great emails already, sequences from you, but for the holidays, I mean, I have a lot of casseroles on my wrist, and I always do well around the holidays. So I think one of the pain points that I want to try to reach is people that have to take something to a potluck, like a company dinner. And I think people always struggle with that, like, oh, I'll just take cups, whatever. So that's the pain point that I want to try to reach.
Okay.
And to promote my casseroles.
Okay. Do the casseroles get traffic?
Yes. So
And-
like Christmas, they get all times a year, but the more Christmassy Thanksgiving kind of ones, or like a squash casserole and candied yams, things like that.
Right. Okay, so let me think this through. Let me think this through as if you and I were hypothetically working together in some way. Okay, so in that scenario, what I would do is November and December, I would be looking at, of course, Thanksgiving and Christmas, just site-wide. Generally, those are so powerful, right? In general, for everybody who has food, you know what I'm talking about. That even if they want casseroles, it may overpower it. Just the Christmas cookies is going to, it's going to win in that scenario. While the problem that you're discussing is a real problem, they may not engage with, or a smaller number of people might engage with that versus a general, here's how to, here's how to bring more magic to your Christmas table, or whatever it is. Okay. So I'm not saying that what you're suggesting is a bad idea. We would just want to look at it carefully. And how I would look at that is I'd go into Google Analytics and I would really start doing some dissecting of how do I prove what's my basis for the fact that they're going to want this or that? And I have to try to make some guesses there. Now, if you have very specific, the more specific, the better. Things like, as I mentioned, air fryer, those are obvious because I can't just make any old recipe in an air fryer. It doesn't work. So those people have a very specific need. So during Christmas, I might have an air fryer Christmas guide. And everybody else, and by the way, you can do this, everybody. You can do this through pop-ups. Pop-ups can be shown on different WordPress posts, pages, and categories. So if you want to segment that way, you can totally do that. So in this case, we would do it on the air fryer category or in the casserole category. We might put, if we don't know, and Barbara wants to serve the casserole Christmas conundrum, we can find out how to do that, or if that will work by just creating one and putting it out there. And try it for a while. We are not tied to these things, and we can watch conversion rate. So when I am evaluating, do these things work, everybody? You want to be able to track conversion rate. Your traffic goes up and down. Your traffic to air fryer is different than the rest of the site. The raw totals tell you very little. It's the conversion rate is how many eyeballs saw it versus how many signed up. That's the metric that we're looking at. So, Barbara, I'm not answering your question. I'm just telling you how I would think about approaching it. Yes. Whether or not that's the right thing to do would be, the basis for some research and taking a look at it that way.
Okay. All right.
That's an excellent question. I think everybody's going to, when you get to that point, when you see Barbara's got more seasonal quick start guides and lead magnets than most of you do. And so she's at the point where she's like, how do I optimize better? And that's a highly valuable thing to do, because here's the great thing about these assets. I call them an asset. Next summer, if you're doing summer crafts, guess what? Your content's not going to change that much. The traffic will come back and want summer stuff next year. You just turn that one back on. Thanksgiving is on the calendar. I checked for the next 5 years here in the United States. I don't know about Canada's Thanksgiving. I haven't checked on that. It is on the calendar too? Okay, see. All right, look, we're hitting the top of the hour. I'm going to for those that need to get out of here. Oh, that's not a wolf. That's a lion, Jules. I thought that was a wolf. Okay. For those of you who have to get out of here, your homework assignment is go make a quick start guide. You can do this, and you can do it by tomorrow. Yes. What I'd like you to do is go write it. Here's how you do it. Select 3 to 5 articles based on this theme, on the traffic that we talked about. Slap them together. Create a catchy title like you've heard me talk about, and write these emails in a Google Doc. Drop it into Facebook and ask people for their feedback. Mindy promises to go through every one of yours and to give comments. Mindy is a lovely individual. That is so generous, Mindy. Thank you. And then tomorrow, for the brave souls that want to share, I'll be happy to look at what you've written. Okay, let's go. Do you hear me? Let's go. Let's do this right now. You signed up for this mastermind. I don't care what's on Netflix. It'll be there tomorrow. Let's write this today. We can do it. All right. If you still need it, there's that code. And if you are stuck, stick around. I will answer as many. I'll help you come up with a quick start guide. I don't want you to leave here without having something. By the way, here's that. If you decide to try out ConvertKit, you don't even have to put in a credit card. It's a 30-day free trial. Go give it a whirl if you are on the fence about this stuff at all. We'll hear more about the ConvertKit Raptive integration later this week, but the gist of it is they have made it so that all the tracking links are, every email that you send from ConvertKit now are automatically added. And that's the only platform that has done that integration so far. I'm sure that they're working on others. All right, thanks a bunch. If you got to get out of here, we'll see you. If you're still stuck, let me know. I'll go ahead and mute, and I'll be happy to give you a quick start guide idea.
I could use some help.
I'm here for you.
So I get lost between, I guess, what my audience are looking for. So I try and create content about helping people to feel less intimidated by baking and to break down those barriers. But a lot of my higher traffic stuff are the more complicated recipes. Like I have like a tuxedo cake and a pistachio dacquoise, and so I don't know if I should be going after that because that seems to be what's drawing people in, or if I should be still trying to focus on making it simple.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it totally
At the moment,
sense.
I have a 5-day email series, and it was the baking hacks one that I mentioned earlier. I was trying to get both with that, but I don't know.
Yeah,
that's probably not a smart way to do it.
You know, that's the way I would have probably started at doing this like 5 years ago, if you and I were talking back then. But I have a different approach now. So a couple of questions. The person that makes what was it, tuxedo pistachio cake? What was it?
Yeah, tuxedo cake. It's like a triple layer mousse cake.
It sounds amazing. What do we know about that person?
They probably are pretty confident in the kitchen already.
Yeah, it's because they're willing to tackle that one.
Yeah.
So it's not just confident. They like to bake.
Yeah.
I think you might be discounting the importance of that characteristic.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking this label of simple versus challenging and taking everybody and going like this. The person that's making a tuxedo cake probably has a special occasion. How many special occasions does one have during the year? Not that many to bake for. However, how many Saturdays and Sundays are there? I know there's actually a number on that. I don't know what it is, but there's actually a number. So, and they may just want to bake something yummy. Do you have stuff to bake that's yummy?
I have lots of stuff to bake that's yummy.
So my guess is that we could at least try to lean into their love of baking.
Yeah.
And their baking motivation. Sometimes I found with the quick start guides, we're doing too much to try to teach and educate. This happens a lot in food. You know, somebody has a healthy recipe and then they want to teach about how protein works and about how the mitochondria this, I don't even know, right? And so they create these lessons they take it quite literal as lessons. But did you see how the keto blogger did it? 30-minute recipes. You want to try them? Here they are. Because all they're doing in that case is trying to inspire somebody to try another recipe. That's it. In the case of food, it happens a lot. People get hungry. a lot. Apparently, there's some people that eat multiple times a day. I just read about this. So they will be looking for more inspiration. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. It does. I think what you said about trying to make it a lesson, I think I have been doing that. It doesn't need to be that complicated. So
Yeah, I think because you can do that in future emails if you want to train and go deeper about your knowledge and all this stuff. But what we could do right now is we could say, love to bake, 5 days, 5 days for my love to bake bakers. I love to bake bakers. That's silly. And then day one could be, these are the baking projects that have brought me the most joy, period. And it's just random. It could be a cake. It could be a tart. It could be a cookie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the joys I make when I'm in, the joys. These are the recipes that I make when I bake when I'm in a hurry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the most popular recipes on my website of all time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you got 3 emails right there that would be super easy to put together. You're using social proof in every one of them.
yeah.
The social proof is you love them, or the social proof is they're most popular on the blog, or they went viral, or whatever it may be. You could take a category that you have a lot of traffic in. Like one thing that I do is I go into Google Analytics, and there's you can search by the slug of the URL. Type in the word cake, and see what percentage of your page views in the last 90 days was cake, or cookies, or there's some common ones in baking, right?
Mhm.
And that might inform you of, oh my gosh, cakes is getting 12% of all page views in the last 90 days. That's not nothing. Maybe these people like to make, or cupcakes. Maybe I should be talking about my cupcakes in this quick start guide.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go get
thank
them.
you.
I look forward to learning about tuxedo cakes and pistachio hummingbird tarts or whatever it was. Pretty excited about it. All right.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
All right, we'll see you. Anybody else stuck? You all good? You just Mindy?
Hi. Let me
Hi.
see if I can get this to work. Well, I have 2 different issues.
Oh,
First off, our site is very broad. When we started for many years, we were focused on food travel guides. So when people were going to go to a new destination, we would show them what and where to eat. However, during the pandemic, nobody was traveling or eating out. So we started doing food recipes,
okay.
cocktail recipes, and listicles. And now, if we look at our top articles, they really are all those different things, and they don't really have similar audiences,
Right.
but various cocktail recipes, various food recipes, various food travel guides, and various listicles are popular
Yeah.
or not. And so they're all different audiences. So that's problem number 1. Problem number 2 is we started with MailChimp, went to Flowdesk, but now we're happily using Substack. We're happy with it for various reasons. However, they don't really have the email funnel type thing.
Right.
So I guess I'm kind of stuck thinking, well, what would my sequence be, and how could I even do a sequence?
Right. Yeah. Let's take the
There I am.
technical part aside, because you
Okay.
have to decide if you want to do it. That's step
Mhm.
number 1. Not just because could you do it, but I also would not decide not to do it because there's a technical limitation. If you decide it's
Okay.
right for your business. So is your husband in on it with you? Did I see on your website?
Yes,
He's right here.
He's sitting next to me.
Oh, so there's a strange man in your room that, it would prove that he is there. Okay, excellent. Okay, so how do you guys determine your content creation calendar now?
That's a good question. We have a lot of things we want. We just we try to just mix it up, and
Okay.
we're trying to do 1 cocktail a week,
Okay,
1 food recipe. We have a lot of food travel. We're been less motivated with that lately, and we really trying to do listicles. So we're just kind of
okay.
it's
So,
kind
but
of
it sounds
organic.
like recipes and cocktails and other general travel stuff are still core to your strategy. And do you
Yes.
have content in each of those that it sounds like you have lots of content in all of those?
We built our site around, we're a food site. And just in general, we are a food site. We built our content originally out around culinary travel, that we hit a real like goalie in the pandemic. We started doing some recipes and some cocktail development. Culinary travel was still really good. So we're just a love of food site, whatever it is. I know we don't have a general it just kind of grew organically a certain way.
Yeah. So where I'm going with this is this right here. You have the content. People are coming in for different reasons. I've worked with plenty of people who've done travel, plenty of people who've done, obviously, recipes, and plenty of people who do cocktails. So cocktails, let's just talk about cocktails for a second. Let's pretend that you're getting a lot of traffic on cocktails and you have more content related to cocktails that you'd be happy to serve the cocktail lovers. Yes?
Yeah, I have over 100 cocktail.
Oh my goodness.
Art.
Okay. And so I assume that in WordPress, you have a category for cocktails.
Yes.
All right. Imagine this. Somebody Googles a cocktail. They land on your website. They like what they see. They get invited to make the world's greatest cocktails through your quick start guide. They sign up for that. On Wednesday, I'm going to be walking through what you can do, but the short version of it is you can be sending them, you can create an evergreen sequence where you are sending them cocktails over and over and over again for weeks and years to come. And you know, if you do nothing else with that person, you are serving their cocktail needs. They might be coming back. You have a better chance of them clicking on a cocktail and coming back if you send them an email than if you don't send them an email. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Right there. You do that. I'm just picking cocktails to start with, but you do that with cocktails. You do that with food, with recipes. If you have baking, if you have lifestyle, if you have air fryer, all those things I talked about, it's rinse and repeat. And what you're doing over time is you're bringing in the people that you can serve, regardless of who you want to be when you grow up. You have this content now, you're serving that to them.
So my question is, so we do have a lot of cocktail recipes and they are popular, but then like someone who's coming to our site to find out why what we love and hate about living in Portugal, they're not interested in the cocktails.
So you don't show them the cocktails.
So, we can separate that out, you're saying?
Yeah. Do you have your cocktails in a WordPress category called cocktails?
Yes.
Okay. We turn on a pop-up or a form or whatever, and it only shows on cocktails.
Gotcha. We don't do that. So I already learned something new.
Yeah, perfect. So, and then rinse and repeat. You do the same thing for Portugal. Here's our 5 days to the perfect Portugal trip. That's a separate pop-up and a separate quick start guide, because in that, you're going to tell them where to stay, what to see, and what to eat. And then after that, you can decide what to drip them, send them going forward. But you have your segments, and these emails serve as segment creators. They're gates. In they come. Those are the Portugal people. Oh, those are the cocktail people. Then it's up to you to decide what you do with them after that. That's a whole different business strategy. But if you have 100 cocktails, at the bare minimum, if Google goes to whatever, and you lose cocktail traffic, you have at one point these hundreds or thousands of people on your email list that are getting a cocktail recipe, and you're bringing traffic back to your website, regardless of what happened on Pinterest, Facebook, AI, and Google.
Okay.
All right. I don't know if cocktails is the place to start. It might be. Have you picked? What would you pick? Let's see if we can make a decision.
I mean, cocktails versus something else.
Yeah. What would you start with? Your homework assignment is to make a quick start guide, and I want you to do it. So let's pick one.
Well, the easiest one for me to start with would be cocktails.
Okay. So
But I don't know if
what are
it's-
5 different? Let's do 5 emails.
Okay.
Give me 5 different, let's go fast, but what are 5 different themes, think roundups of types of cocktails?
Oh, I have roundups too of cocktails.
Okay.
Summer cocktails,
Okay.
classic cocktails.
Classics, good.
Well, there's all the different types of vodka, gin, rum.
Okay, you could just have
tequila.
one for vodka, you could have one for gin, you could have one for, okay?
There sour cocktails.
Okay.
There's a lot of different things you could do.
All right, the way that you approach that is pick 5 that have the
Okay.
broadest appeal. 5 roundups have the broadest appeal. Like, I don't drink, so I don't even know. But let's say that tequila is a very specific thing, and there's not a, if you sent that out to everybody, there's a good chance that only 15% of the people actually care, right? Let's instead say the cocktails I serve to impress guests, the cocktails that are sweeter, the cocktails that you can make fast, our fanciest cocktails, and include in there, by the way, this is I'm giving you one for free, our most popular cocktails of all time. That always works. And you can just pull from every category, this gin thing, this purple one, this whatever one, boom. And they're in the same thing. And people are just inspired by the most popular cocktails because they're like, what should I make? Oh, interesting. That's popular. Okay, let's try that. So there you have 5.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay. Easier than you think, right?
Yeah, so will you later in the week discuss the issues of not using something like ConvertKit, like i.e. Substack?
Okay. I can't help you there. Substack doesn't do this. You're going to have to decide if it's worth it to you. If it's worth if what I just described from a business, if it provides business benefit, like, would it be nice that every week you sent the cocktail people a recipe and you knew who they were? Would it be nice to do the same thing with the Portugal people? Would it be nice to do the same thing with is that good for your business? Is that good for your branding long-term? You can tell I'm obviously biased in my opinions, but you have to decide that.
Yeah, we'll have to decide.
Yeah. I
Okay,
hope that helps.
it does. Thank
Okay,
you.
cool. All right. We will see you tomorrow, I hope. All right.
Yes.
Take care.